Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. I am Nur Alisha, the chairperson and the project manager. Thrilled to welcome our managers, supervisors, and program directors to our inaugural event meeting. Together with us today, we have Ms. Atika Shahira as our content creator and social media manager, Ms. Hanis Izara as the event coordinator, who has been with us for almost 3 years now, and a warm welcome to Ms. Aida Shazana, our marketing coordinator for this campaign. Welcome all.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, so before I pass the microphone to our speaker, let me explain why we are focusing on the issue for this upcoming event. From our last unofficial meeting, we had agreed that students, specifically teenagers, often feel uneasy seeing their peers' achievement online, which is also known as the social media peer pressure. So to kick off this meeting, let's start with opening remarks, and I would like to invite Ms. Atika to shed light on social media peer pressure and give us the overview of our project's direction.
Okay, thank you, Miss Alicia. Greetings, everyone. Today, we are here to shed light on another important issue affecting students globally, social media peer pressure. Imagine this, a world where every scroll, every like, and every post shapes the narrative of our lives. Today, we are shining a light on the pervasive force that is social media peer pressure. It's not just a phenomenon, it's a tidal wave of influence. The world of likes, shares, and filters has become a stage where students play out their lives, constantly navigating the currents of peer influence. A recent study by the National Institute of Health dropped a truth bomb. Students spend an average of 6 hours a day on social media. That's more time than it takes to binge watch your favorite series, right? So buckle up because we are about to explore the roller coaster of influences that these students ride daily. From no, I had this one discussion with Professor Ahmad Abdullah, a renowned psychologist at Malaysian Mental Health Association (MMHA), specializing in digital behavior and mental health, who emphasized the critical connection between social media peer pressure and mental well-being. It turns out that the constant comparison can lead to a plot twist of anxiety, depression, and diminished self-esteem among students. From online social circles to the pressure of chasing trending content, the comparison culture that fuels validation seeking behavior, and the way of societal expectation, it's like a recipe for a digital drama series. In response to the significant concern of social media peer pressure affecting students globally, we recognize the importance of proactive measures. We are here just not talk about the problem, we are here to propose solutions, right? Thus, we are launching a podcast series, The Ultimate Superhero Against the Villains of Social Media Peer Pressure. This podcast will be a stage for open conversations, expert insight, and personal stories. It's not just a series, it's a movement. It's a movement actually. So grab your headsets and join us on this thrilling journey as we break the mold and unmask the reality of social media peer pressure with us. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Atika, for the input. Now, I would like to have Ms. Izara to give us the project overview together with the goals and aim for this project.
Thank you, Miss Alicia, and good day, everyone. Today, our focus is on discussing the fundamental elements of our upcoming podcast, which is dedicated to raising awareness about social media peer pressure. Let's delve into the specific, beginning with our overarching goal. Our podcast goal is to help people grasp social media pressure. We will talk about body image, lifestyles, and online trends. We aim to empower people to make savvy choice in the digital world, aware of potential pressure. Other than that, at our core, we are creating a platform for open conversation about social media impact on mental health. Our podcast aim to be a space where people feel comfortable sharing experience and coping strategies. Lastly, we know education is a key for us. Our podcast aims to be a go-to source for info, boosting your digital smarts. We are all about promoting critical thinking, responsible social media use, and understanding the psychological effect of online interaction. Now, let's shift our focus to the specific audience and communication channels we aim to reach. We are reaching out to a wide audience committed to connecting with anyone affected by or interested in social media peer pressure. Our main focus is on young adults and adolescents aged 16 to 30 who are especially influenced by social media during critical identity development phases. For the communication channels, we will use Spotify and Apple Podcasts for our main content, as that is where people mostly listen to podcasts. Yet, we are also keen on live session, collaboration, and other platforms to connect and expand our reach. Next, I would like to pass this meeting to Ms. Aida so she can discuss the project overview in more detail.
Thank you, Ms. Zara. For our podcast overview, our objectives are twofold. First, we aim to encourage responsible online behavior among individuals. It seeks to mitigate the negative impact of peer pressure by empowering users to navigate social platforms mindfully and make choices aligned with their values. Next, we also need to educate users about the potential consequences of succumbing to negative social media peer pressure, such as mental health issues, cyberbullying, or compromising personal values. By increasing awareness, the aim is to empower individuals to make informed choices and contribute to a healthier online culture. From our objectives, we have two key messages that we would like to deliver in this campaign. The first one is empowerment, which is we encourage individuals to make informed decisions and resist negative social media peer pressure by fostering a sense of empowerment. Two is education, increase awareness about the potential consequences of succumbing to negative peer pressure on social media, emphasizing mental health issues, cyberbullying, and the importance of maintaining personal values. So deriving from these two key messages, we have two desired outcomes for this campaign. The first one is to cultivate a responsible and positive online community where individuals feel empowered to make informed choices and contribute to a supportive environment. The next one is they will have a heightened awareness of the potential consequences associated with negative social media peer pressure. Ultimately, this fosters a healthier and more mindful online culture. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Aida. I can now see how our podcast will benefit the community. I will now let you guys brainstorm some strategies, as I'm hoping that you guys can provide us with detailed information on how we are going to conduct this podcast successfully. Surely we do not want any problem to arise within the events throughout the whole program, right?
Absolutely. All right, teams, let's brainstorm effective strategies to ensure our message has a wide-reaching impact. Let's dive into the plan. First on the list, Twitter is the hub of quick updates and conversations. We're not just tweeting, we are creating a storm. Lightning stats, fireworks-worthy conversations, and Twitter chats with experts, influencers, and organizations spilling the tea on social media peer pressure. Any thoughts, everyone?
Love it. Now, don't forget to use Instagram too. It's all about visuals. We share aesthetically pleasing content, which is infographics, real stories, and highlight from our podcast series. And we swipe up for a real-time updates, sneak peeks behind the scenes. Plus, we share live Q&A sessions to engage with our audience. What do you all think?
Fantastic approach, I guess. Now, I think we can use TikTok. We can create short videos to effectively reach a younger audience. Additionally, we can engage in interactive Q&A session, offer behind-the-scenes glimpse into podcast episodes, and even develop a series of educational videos breaking down various aspects of social media peer pressure. Given TikTok emphasizes on creativity and authenticity, let's harness these qualities to make a significant impact and resonate with our target audience. What are your thoughts on incorporating these strategies?
I'm all for it. So summarizing Twitter storms, Instagram vibes, and TikTok fails with this plan, our podcast series is set to hit the digital universe like a supernova. Our end goal to build a digital space where students facing social media peer pressure find support, positivity, and good vibes. What are your final thoughts, Miss Alisha?
Well, good job, guys. Fantastic strategy team. So let's execute this plan and make our message resonate far and wide. Okay, so let's all join in. Share your thoughts, suggestions, or questions about our project. I will kick off by asking about the main platform or method that we should focus on. We need to find a central spot to reach our audience effectively, something accessible and informal, matching with our less formal approach. So what do you guys think?
I'm all for turning our podcast into a Spotify sensation. I think Spotify is a popular platform for hosting and streaming podcasts, and it can significantly expand our podcast reach. And I think making our podcast available on Spotify can be a significant boost to its accessibility and discoverability among a vast audience.
Absolutely a brilliant idea. How about we not only organize but actively participate in community events or even webinars or workshops that zoom in on the profound impact of social media on mental health? This event will not just be promotional opportunities but dynamic platform for direct engagement with our audience. Picture it. A fantastic way to forge deeper connection with our listeners. What are your thoughts on this exciting approach?
Find it very amusing. So good insight, guys. So are there any more ideas or if any of you wish to speak up? If there is, then you guys can go ahead.
I am curious to understand the significance of this project and why we want to use this topic and implement initiatives related to it.
Oh, so you're asking why we picked this issue, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so good question, Miss Aida. Well, this one personally hits closer to me because even as a working adult, we grew up with social media because social media shaped our upbringing. I've been there, I've been addicted, wanting to emulate influencers without realizing that it's not all real. The pressure was so intense, okay? I even sacrificed my essential due to the fear of missing out, FOMO. It's funny how the pressure can harm you without even realizing it, right? Well, back to the point, we actually need to help kids and teens to understand that social media is not everything, and not everything online is all true. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, anyone.
Okay, now here's a thought from me. Are there any guest speakers or experts in the field whom we should consider inviting to share insights and expertise on social media preparation?
Sure thing. In answering a question about who could join us on the podcast, I think it would be awesome to bring in mental health experts, digital marketing pros, and social media influencer or content creators. This way, we can cover lots of different topics in each episode. By getting insight from our guest experience, we can help young listeners learn about all sorts of things connected to social media peer pressure.
I have another question. How can we structure our podcast episodes to effectively convey the impact of social media peer pressure on individuals and communities?
May I answer your question, Miss Aida?
Yes, please.
Okay, my take on your question is in our podcast, we can include real life examples or personal stories to humanize the impact of social media peer pressure and by discussing the effects on self esteem and mental health. We will explore how online communities shape offline relationships. Other than that, we will also dive into social media dynamics, algorithms, and coping strategies. Also, through interviews and panel discussions, we will showcase diverse perspectives and success stories of navigating peer pressure.
So, is
I think
there
that's
any
all from me.
more questions from the floor? If not, then I would like to proceed with the next agenda. So, anyone?
Me, I have one more question before we end our Q&A. Do you guys believe that this project alone has the potential to resolve our issue? Well, for me, I don't think so.
Hold on there, Miss Izara. I think let's hear from my perspective. I believe that this project has the potential to resolve our issues. As J.R.R. Tolkien once wisely remarked, big things often have small beginnings. Do not underestimate the power of baby steps. So to me, starting this project can have an impact on everyone that is struggling with social media peer pressure issues. It may not entirely change one's life, but small effort still matters as long as everyone is contributing to make this project a huge success. To add to this matter, we should give our best to ensure the utmost effectiveness to our audience. Then we can proceed to our next agenda. Thank you.
Okay, good take on that one, Miss Aida. So moving on to our next agenda, let's discuss the upcoming tasks for our proposed project, the podcast on raising awareness on social media peer pressure. I've scheduled the first episode for release on July 1st, 2024. So now I will be breaking down the project into three essential phases, which is the pre, during, and the post. So before I explain any of these details, does anyone have any questions or concern regarding the timeline?
I'm sorry, Miss Aisha. Does this mean we have only 5 more months to finish getting everything ready? Is that enough time? I'm worried the first episode might not turn out as good as we want.
Well, you don't have to worry about that part, Miss Izara, because first I think you can try to listen to what I'm about to say. Then maybe you can rethink about the timeline. And if you have any problems with that, then maybe we can discuss about it further. So without further ado, I will start. So we're starting with the planning phase, where each one of us has one task with a deadline. And then for the first task, it's all about creating podcast project plan. So in this plan, I will summarize everything myself about the project overview, budget per episode, task timeline, and each person's role. That is actually the main purpose for our meeting today, to actually successfully wrap up this task. Okay? All right. So for the second task, I would like to ask our marketing coordinator to define the target audience and messaging. I would like to hear your report regarding this task around the end of this month. So is that okay, Miss Aida?
Okay, but if I understand correctly, this task requires me to conduct research and grasp the demographics, interests, and preference of our potential audience. Additionally, I need to create a clear and compelling message that resonates with our target audience. If that's the case, I'm confident I can complete it by the given due date. Thank you, Miss Alicia.
All right. All right. So you're clear about your task, right? So thank you, Miss Aida, for your response. So continuing with the third task, I would like to ask Miss Atika, who is in charge of all the content creating part, to create a content calendar for the podcast. So and I hope that I can have the list content by around February 15. Is that okay?
All right, Miss. I will come out with a calendar using our company's cloud account so that everyone can see the list.
Well, that sounds just right to me. So moving on to the last task, can I have our event coordinators help to do the research and selection of awareness event for the podcast project?
Just to be clear, my task here involved the systematic exploration of various events, activities, and initiatives related to the podcast theme or subject matter, right?
Yep, certainly. And I expect to receive your response no later than the end of February. Is that okay?
Noted, Miss. I can do it.
Okay, everyone. So that cover all the parts and all the tasks for the planning phase. So are there any more questions before we proceed on the next phase?
There's no question.
No questions.
Same.
Okay, so let's continue. So for the second phase, it will be more about the content creation and the social media campaign. So Miss Aida, do you have any suggestions and idea on what tasks should be done during this phase? And we are hoping for this one on you because you are our marketing coordinator.
Absolutely. I have a great idea. In this phase, we should create awareness materials such as posters, or even better, use videos to generate more traction. Following that, we can execute social media campaigns and finally coordinate with additional influencers for each podcast episode.
Wow, Miss Ida, I love your idea. So to create awareness material, I hope that Miss Izara can make it done. While for the social media campaign, I'm hoping I think Miss Atika should take the responsibility. And Miss Ida, can you help us find suitable influencer to collaborate with? And I actually hope that we can work together for this part and if you guys could actually give me the latest update around March 1st until May 31st, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
So everyone, I just want to remind you guys that you guys know that in every project we need a feedback, right? So for the final phase, it should be more about the feedback and the reporting phase. I want the event coordinator to gather feedback right after launching our podcast and summarize it within a week after. I would like you guys to also build any platform to use for the feedback to us from the audience as well as from the staff. So that is all for this phase. Okay. Well, assuming that everyone's on board with the phase and timeline, I would like to move forward and wrap up today's meeting. Let me quickly sum up today's agenda. So our podcast's first episode will be set on July 1st, 2024. So remember guys, team meetings will be on every Thursday, around 10 to 11 in the morning. Team leaders, keep us posted on Microsoft Teams and send in your monthly progress reports to me and to the other director using your email account. So everyone, thanks to every and each one of you for your contribution today. If there's nothing else, then I declare this meeting adjourned. Thanks and have a productive day ahead. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good discussion, everyone.